So, Griggs, man, how you been?
I've been good. I've been good.
So
glad to be here.
So, dude, I had this bizarre dream this week that we're doing a Heelcast, and I just completely, botched the intro. I forgot to do it completely.
So that's all right.
It happens sometimes, right? Yeah. It happens sometimes. But here we are, and you know who we got with us, right?
Oh, definitely.
We got the man himself. We got the man himself. That's right, Larkin, buddy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. What's up, Griggs? What's up, Impact, dude? How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great.
So Larkin, man, you've been up to some pretty cool stuff this past week. You're kicking off some really, really, really good work, man. You got to tell the world about it.
All right. So, first and foremost, I'll talk about the website that I'm coming up with. And the Facebook is talkingwrestling.com. That's Talking Wrestling US on Facebook. Just type in talkingwrestling.com. So what the premise behind talkingwrestling.com is, I have over two and a half years of interviews that are on SoundCloud, a lot of wrestling related. So I'm going to put those on there. It's my On the Mic with Mike section. I'm going to incorporate a lot of people that I've worked with and put, people send them directly to, the Heelcast. A lot of people I've worked, Impact, Bodega, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a great way to accentuate podcasts, a lot of great wrestling podcasts, and it's going to be a fun site for wrestling fans. I'm very excited about getting into it.
Now, are you going to have all of your interviews on this site?
As far as wrestling ones go, yes. And as far as if I want to do all the non-wrestling ones, I'll see. But yeah, as of right now, it's kind of like a strictly wrestling kind of deal. So that's why it's hence the talkingwrestling.com. So I'm going to see if I'm going to branch out in the future. But yeah, talkingwrestling.com is coming, dude.
Awesome, man. And you're going to have message boards on there too?
I haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm sure that'll probably be in play. Sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome sauce. Now, Griggs, I got to tell you something, man. I was up your way yesterday. Now, I wasn't all the way up your way, but I was north of Harrisburg.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was
what are you up here for?
There's a petting zoo thing, Lake somebody's last name. And we were about a half an hour north of Harrisburg, petting animals and stuff like that. We saw some lions and some tigers and, other animals that wanted to eat us, as well as some animals that didn't want to eat us. So just anytime I head up that way, I'm always thinking about my boy Griggs. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. I'm glad you're out my way. Definitely have to come a little closer.
All right. Well, we got to talk about this. In fact, all three of us need to talk about this. As we know, Bound for Glory is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. And Bound for Glory, Larkin, is in your hometown. Now, I know you don't live there anymore, but it's still your hometown.
Oh, yeah.
So, Griggs, it's not that far from you, man. It's really not that bad for me. I'm thinking we need to do the Heelcast from Bound for Glory.
That would be pretty exciting.
Larkin, man, what's up? Can we do this?
Well, I'll tell you right now, because me being in the South, I got a lot of my family down here South. So if I'm not at a family get-together, because there's a lot of them down here, like I said, family down here in the South, the Southern hospitality, it's big. If I don't got anything family going on or work-related, depending, I would definitely love to do that. But like I said, let's see how it goes. But that's something that intrigues me, man. We're in Queens, New York. It's the Melrose Ballroom. Long Island, not too far from me. I got family there as well. So if any way it could happen, most certainly, I would definitely love to do that.
I mean, I'm thinking we need to just block the date. Just tell your family do it a different day.
Jesus, man! just kill.
Well, first we got to get Impact to put the pre-sales on, so we know when they're happening and where we can go from there.
Right? When are they going to give us? When are they going to tell us when tickets are going on sale anyway?
I have no idea. They haven't even said anything. All we know that is Bound for Glory is in Queens, October 14th, Melrose Ballroom. That's it. They haven't even said anything about that.
Yeah. I think Josh just keeps saying check impactwrestling.com, keep following it, this and that, and eventually it'll be on there. But you would think they would want to get them out early enough so, drive some interest, spread it out. But
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I would absolutely love to go up there, but I want front row seats. I want to be in the front row.
Hey, if you're going for a special show like Bound for Glory, why not? This would be my third Bound for Glory.
Wow. So you were in the one in Charlotte, right?
Yeah, and then I went to the one in Philly with Hogan and Flair, 2012 maybe it was.
Gotcha.
Oh, wait, was it Hogan? No, wait. Hogan, Flair, and Sting.
Sting. I don't think it was Hogan and Flair. It was Hogan and Sting.
Well, Flair was in it. He was getting beat up by Hogan, started blood everywhere, and I don't know.
Yeah, that was Hogan and Sting.
Okay.
Has there ever been a Hogan match where Flair didn't get bloodied up? I mean, I feel like that's part of Flair's shtick is he goes to all Hogan's matches and he gets bloodied up.
Oh, I had to mention, since we were talking about Bound for Glory as well, so I don't forget. You know, it's actually funny because besides the Melrose Ballroom hosting Bound for Glory, I think MLW is actually doing a show October 4th at that same venue.
Yeah, I think they record there. Do they do most of their shows there?
I think they're doing, I think you're right on that, Griggs. I just saw October 4th MLW there, and then, Impact announced their stuff. So I'm like, oh, you got 2 wrestling shows running that venue in October. Cool.
It must be the MLW zone.
Well, and Ring of Honor, and this ties into this conversation, is actually doing a show down here in Baltimore on the 12th.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so they have one of their pay-per-views on Friday night the 12th in Baltimore, right? And the Young Bucks are going to be present for that show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then in New York, 2 days later, we have Bound for Glory. Now, we all know that LAX and the Young Bucks has been, folks, confirmed on the Chris Jericho cruise. And Conan gave an interview this week where he said they had a big surprise planned for LAX at Bound for Glory.
Would be pretty exciting.
Young Bucks in Baltimore on the 12th.
I mean, there's no reason why Impact couldn't bring them in. It's just they have to get ROH's blessing.
It's interesting. I got to tell you, because I agree with that. I mean, what a way to promote the Jericho cruise than have them, associated maybe at Bound for Glory or whatever, man.
And if you, this week's Impact, I mean, they were promoting the Jericho cruise on Impact on Pop, so it was. Yeah, it seems like something was going on.
Yeah, I watched that AML wrestling show on from Greensboro on Twitch. They were plugging the living crap out of the Jericho cruise on that show.
And you know that we've also got confirmed for that cruise, Sami Callihan versus Marty Scurll.
Party Marty?
Party Marty.
Exactly. Party Marty, the guy who did not win, the show, help me out, what was the name
British
of the show?
Boot Camp.
British Boot Camp, thank you. The guy who did not win it, right, this is when Rockstar Spud won it, is now a big star over in New Japan and Ring of Honor, and he's getting Sami Callihan on the cruise.
I think this is going to be really good, man. I think it's really, really going to be good. Marty's been doing his thing. Sammy, hashtag the draw as he calls himself. So it's going to be for an exciting matchup.
It's crazy how time has changed. Like, Party Marty, what was that, like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Man. And now look at him.
Well, yeah, look at Sami Callihan, guys, now. I mean, he used to be the hacker in NXT. He was Solomon Crow, and then, he gets released, and they just let him be himself, and then, boom, off to the races he went.
It's amazing because Marty Scurll as a face was terrible.
Yeah.
This villain Marty Scurll is actually a pretty solid act.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very solid act. You know what I'm saying? So that's another big thing, and this is something that was said. I read this recently, and I mean we all have to kind of agree on it. But let's talk about Chris Jericho and what he has done for wrestling over the past year or so. He gets the call, and he's talking to what's his name, Astor, right? From that owns Fight Network, Impact Wrestling, okay? And he's talking to him, and he goes, look, Ed, you're gonna just keep getting screwed by all these people you're bringing in. You need to bring in somebody who's trustworthy and not going to help you. Bring in my buddy Don Callis. Don Callis is also working for New Japan. Immediately, Ed Nordum goes over with Don Callis, takes Scott D'Amore with him, and they start repairing the damage with the New Japan relationship, right? Next thing you know, Impact Wrestling starts doing all these partnerships, right? And all of a sudden, it's not cool to hate Impact Wrestling anymore, right? Then Chris Jericho turns and he does his cruise, and he starts inviting everybody to the cruise. Hey, come on the cruise. And because he's Chris Jericho, they all say, okay, we're going to get on your cruise ship. And guys, this is a freaking cruise ship, for God's sakes. Okay? Now, you got all these great things going on. Okay? He goes back to New Japan. He actually wrestles. This is all the while saying, I'm going to show my loyalty to Vince Kennedy McMahon for all the things that he's done for me, right? And he wrestles Kenny Omega in a mega match in New Japan. I mean, this is amazing. Am I right or not? Has Chris Jericho not been the best thing that happened to wrestling in 2018?
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree with you. I mean, like you mentioned, the match with Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. You look at the match with Naito, where he's now currently the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. So, I mean, he's done a lot for wrestling in 2018, absolutely, as far as bringing in Don Callis for Impact Wrestling. And you got a guy like Scott D'Amore there, both who have been in the ring and have wrestling minds. So, absolutely, he's done a lot in 2018 for wrestling.
And
yeah, I would. So, I was just gonna say, I think he's done more for wrestling in 2018 than he's done in his past 5 returns at WWE.
And that's the other thing too, is he has done it all for wrestling, but none of it has benefited WWE.
That's probably the best part of it.
Isn't it? Isn't it though? That's like the greatest part of it at all. So if you didn't like Chris Jericho before, and I don't know who doesn't like Chris Jericho. I mean, he's a very likable guy. I think people need to recognize that what we're seeing here is a renaissance of professional wrestling, where companies work together. And now wrestlers can actually go anywhere around the world and wrestle, almost like territories, right? Mm-hmm. Something we haven't seen really since the NWA started its demise. And Chris Jericho is really kind of the guy who, without actually physically doing a whole lot, has really just sort of like kind of put it all together and orchestrated behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's planted the seeds, and he's helping it grow any way he can, it seems.
And here's a guy that's been in the business since 1990, over 28 years now. So I mean, the guy's taken all his knowledge and he's helping it as far as wrestling goes.
Yeah, it's really amazing, and I think as wrestling fans, that we should all be very thankful. And I gotta tell you, if Chris Jericho would just book a better cruise, like I just don't really want to go there one more time, right? Because really he's just going down to the Bahamas, right? I think he's just going to Nassau.
Yeah, Nassau.
Back. I feel like if he went to a different island, I'd probably just jump on a damn cruise and go. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to do a cruise to Nassau. I just don't want to do it.
Impact, dude. I got to mention this to you as well, Griggs. I mean, yes, we have the Jericho Cruise in October, but before that, September, come very soon. All In, the only match that's really been announced for All In is we're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Magnus for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship.
Yep. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. I mean, can Cody do like what his father done, become the second generation NWA World's Heavyweight Champion? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see.
It's hard to see Magnus going over on Cody.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I really feel like this was booked to be Cody.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at it. Magnus doesn't bring any relating to the title, and if Cody wins it, he'll bring it up to ROH. He'll bring it, to all those independents that he does. It'll bring more prestige to it, under Cody than it does anytime under Magnus.
Agreed. And you guys want to talk about Sabin being on that one night only coming up, I think, in August?
Sabin is coming back to Impact Wrestling.
Well, is he? The BCW.
Oh, right? BCW.
But I think it's getting taped for a one night only.
It is.
Yes, you're right.
So you're right. He's coming back to Impact for one night only.
The
former World Heavyweight Champion Chris Sabin.
Oh, God, you had to say that. Come on, man. Oh, God. Larkin, you knew I was going to react that way, too. Look, Chris Sabin, Motor City Machine Guns is money. I love him when he's a part of the Motor City Machine Guns. Okay? And if you bring Alex Shelley with him, and I know we've talked about this, Alex Shelley's not coming anytime soon, but if you bring Alex Shelley with him, you have something. If you bring world champion Chris Sabin, it's just like, oh my God, we're just going back to the dark days. You might as well just give Magnus the belt again. I mean, my God.
Well, it's so funny because I'm like Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, Motor City Machine Guns, one of the best tag teams in Impact Wrestling history. I even still go back to the old days when he was like Goldilocks' like boy toy for a little bit back in like 2004. So that's how far back I go with Alex Shelley as far as Impact Wrestling TNA, if you will, at the time, history-wise.
This is a side note. I actually named my dog after Alex Shelley.
Did you really?
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I adopted one of these dogs from one of those pounds, and I just needed a name for her, and last name Shelly.
Is this the dog you just kicked out of the room a few minutes ago?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I barricaded her. I didn't kick her. Should be scratching at the door to get in, so.
We named our dog after Daisy Duck, so she's just Daisy. Yeah, and then we had Peanut and Butter before that. You'll never guess where that name came from.
Oh, as far as I mentioned the AML show that was in North Carolina. I mean, Moose was actually supposed to wrestle on that show, but he didn't because of the concussion that he sustained at Slammiversary. So, I mean, I did see the show. It was not bad. Kristen Statlander, who I had on my show not too long ago, she wrestled Tessa Blanchard and Allie in a triple threat match. We saw ladder matches there. We saw the Heavenly Bodies, the new Heavenly Bodies versus the Extreme Four Horsemen, which was C.W. Anderson from ECW and Preston Quinn. It was main evented by Caleb Konley and Matt Seidel for the AML Championship. So I got to say, overall, it was not a bad show for a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I've heard that was the biggest complaint, that it was at 4 o'clock. People were complaining, but we should figure that might be, with the time zones and all that stuff.
True. I mean, it was okay. It was what it needed to be. Excuse me. And then they got that show coming in Tennessee, I think on Twitch next month, and you're going to see Stars Incorporated from Impact. I think Joey Ryan's going to be on it. AR Fox. So there's that Lucha Underground tie-in there. So I mean, that's going to be interesting. I forgot the name of the company. I think it's like NRW or N something W. But yeah, they're going to be doing a show in Knoxville, Tennessee next month for Twitch.
Now, who are Stars Incorporated?
Something like that. Yeah.
Now, who is that?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, just like I said, it's friggin' like Tennessee, and I don't even know, dude. I just know the only thing that I saw is Joey Ryan, AR Fox are going to be on it. Like, I've never heard of these promotions. AML I've heard of because, North Carolina, and I'm aware of some of the promotions. But yeah, this one I have no clue. I'll be honest with you, I have no clue.
So you mentioned Moose's concussion,
Mm-hmm.
and Impact has taken a little bit of a beating online because they didn't say anything about it. But isn't really the storyline about Moose right now that Moose is trying to decide what he wants to do because everything's been leading up to this match with Aries and he lost it? I mean, were they right or were they wrong to not mention it? Because I kind of think it didn't follow the storyline. If they mentioned that he has a concussion, then that's why he's not wrestling. Not that he's trying to figure out what he wants to do.
No, I don't think it's necessary to announce it. I mean, in today's world, I mean, yeah, we know more of the behind the scenes that's going on in wrestling, but it's for storyline purposes. I don't think it's necessary to, let everyone know he had a concussion. I think they should stick to the storylines and go with that. Moose is doubting himself now because he lost to Aries and maybe he's not main event material.
I 100% agree with what Griggs just said. So yeah, I think he said it beautifully with it right there. I mean, just do the storyline. Just Moose, he's doubting himself. What's next for Moose kind of deal. So I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's just storytelling right there.
That was my opinion as well. I mean, I don't think they need to necessarily mention everything either. And I think people take things a little too seriously sometimes. You just gotta kick back and not worry about it. It's professional wrestling. You're supposed to kind of lose yourself in the fact that it is not reality. But I'll tell you what is reality. My boy, Raven Effect's boy, I should say. The guy that Raven Effect thinks is the prettiest guy on the planet. Johnny Impact. Okay. Dislocated his elbow.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what's the turnaround time with Johnny Impact back in the ring? Is it going to affect him at all?
I have no idea. I think what they're going to try to do is, and this is just me early booking because, Bound for Glory is in October. I think the match at October is going to be Johnny Impact versus Congo Khan, and that's where they're going to build it towards. I mean, it's interesting. It depends on the whole severity of the injury. So let's see what happens with Johnny. But obviously we know the feud is coming with Congo Khan.
Now, this injury apparently was suffered during a photo shoot.
Really?
Supposedly, yes.
Oh, my God.
What, he fall over or something? Or?
I mean, all I know is he suffered an elbow injury during a photo shoot.
Oh, yeah, parkour stuff. He was probably doing a parkour maneuver and then, womp.
Yep. Says parkour and baby oil do not mix.
I don't think baby oil mixes with much.
So let's hope that he's, back within the next, few weeks to be able to be on the next set of tapings. Personally, I think he'll be able to do it. Worst case scenario is a little bit limited on that arm. You know what I'm saying? But that brings it to another point here, and that's his wife, right? Taya Valkyrie. Let's talk about Taya. Taya came to Impact, and she was immediately given a pretty large push, and that push has now faded away. Now, I have my opinion on what's going on. I think that that she missed BFG against Rosemary. I think that she's missed some tapings due to not going back into her home country of Canada because apparently she did not have her visa up to date. Other people think that, this is just a complete miss on Impact's part. But is her current status in the Knockouts division down because of what she's missed, right? Is it because they just can't push her if they can't have her be there? Are they upset about what happened? And how do they go about fixing it? Because at some point in time, you're going to get out of the doghouse if you are in the doghouse. And who does she feud with, and what does she do when she gets back?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. I mean, this kind of ties into it, so I'll mention this for you guys. As we saw, Madison Rayne, who is now going to be in the Mae Young Classic, same at Sienna. So you lost those two. As far as Taya goes, I mean, look at what they're doing with Kiera Hogan now. We saw that matchup at Redemption. She could feud with Kiera Hogan. Because if you look at the Knockouts division now, who do they have right now? They got Alicia Edwards. They got Allie. They got Diamante. They got Kiera. They got Rebel. They got Katarina. They got Scarlett Bordeaux. They got Su Yung. They got Taya. And they got Tessa. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Unless you have like a turn with her, you can do Taya versus Tessa. I don't know. But, I mean, I if anything, Taya Valkyrie is involved with, because I've enjoyed her work since Mexico and Lucha Underground all over the place. She's an asset, so let's just see where it goes from her, whether it be a face turn or just keep her as a heel. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see her be used with Johnny. Maybe turn Johnny heel. It's not going to happen if he's facing Congo Kong, but I think any help that Johnny can have with having someone in this corner would help. He's not the best person on the mic, as you see with promo-wise and everything like that. At this point, she's been off the camera so long, it's almost like they need to reintroduce her. I don't think anyone really has missed her on Impact, just because there's a lot of women that are part of Impact now, the Knockouts division, and they're trying their hardest. I mean, you saw at the most recent pay-per-view, those girls went out of their way to, give it their all.
My thing is that her character has a bit of Tessa and a bit of Scarlett in it. And with Scarlett and Tessa already on the roster and doing things, it's almost like they need to change her just to find a spot for her anymore. And it's a shame, because I think that all of her work has been fantastic. I would not blame them if she was in their doghouse, right? I mean, she did miss a big spot for them on short notice. So I can understand where they may be upset. And I can also understand where they might just be saying, look, we get it, but we can't push you if you're only going to show up for every other set of TV tapings, and every other pay-per-view. We just don't have enough, we just don't have enough continuity to push you. But I would like to see her come in, and I would like to see her do something cool. The problem is, you guys saying that there's only real faces. Who do we have that are faces in that division? We got Allie, we got Kiera, we got Alicia, right? Maybe Madison Rayne comes back at some point, but they kind of wrote her off. Who else is a face? Everybody's a heel.
Yeah, well, they got Diamante, but I don't know.
She doesn't count, man. It should be a heel anyway.
Hey, whoa, pump the brakes, man. I'm just trying to say, they got Diamante. If they ever let her wrestle, because I've seen the girl wrestle, she could go. But I mean, I'm trying to think of possibilities. Katarina is another one, but she's tied in with that whole Joe Hendry Grado feud. I mean, looking at it, they got Scarlett. Scarlett's a heel. Su Young's a heel. Tessa's a heel. Yeah, they only really have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 baby faces when Rosemary comes back. So the only baby faces you got right now are Alicia, Allie, Kiera, and Rebel.
And of them, the only one that's really, over is Allie.
Yep.
So when Rosemary comes back, that's going to blow the roof off of the place. But she's not coming back before next year, so don't get your hopes up.
Oh, I got to mention it. Since we mentioned Alicia, and this kind of ties into Impact a little bit. Next week, they did announce Alicia's going to have her return match, and she's going to be fighting Tessa Blanchard next week on Impact.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah,
that would be nice to have her back.
Tessa will probably destroy her, though. That's the only bad part. It might be one of those quick matches.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, it's unfortunate. Like you mentioned, there's really the majority of the Knockouts division is heels. And like I said, there's only like 4 or 5 baby faces, unless you turn one of them, like I mentioned with the Taya scenario. But yeah, and Tessa's just good as a heel. I mean, that's what I'm saying. She's really just, like you mentioned, the undeniable. She's really good as a heel, and she's going to be a future Knockouts champion, no doubt about it.
None whatsoever. So I don't really know where they go with Taya, but I do know this much, that, Larkin, you're right. Taya is a huge asset to that division, and Taya needs to be a major part of, what they're doing moving forward.
Absolutely. Oh, this I have to mention. I know Hurls will like this because he's a big Stone Rockwell fan. Did you guys see that on Twitch, that Stone Rockwell's going to be having his show now live on Twitch? It's called IRL Adventures with Stone Rockwell, premieres August 9th at 5 p.m.
I heard about that, and I am psyched for that.
Okay. What about you, Griggs?
Yeah, I haven't really seen much of Stone Rockwell, but I mean, hey, it's more stuff on Twitch, more stuff for Impact. I'm all for it.
I think Joe Hendry did prestigious Tuesdays, and I believe he was playing Sonic the Hedgehog and all that stuff on his first edition.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to play Mario Kart for Bound for Glory or something like that on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get in on that?
I know, how awesome would that be?
I mean, how awesome would that be? Joe Hendry, you're out there, you're listening, buddy. I'm going to be up there for Bound for Glory. I am challenging you right now to Mario Kart. Which version is he playing anyway?
I don't know. I just know it's Mario Kart. Griggs is right on that. I don't know which version of it is.
Because we play on our Nintendo 3D around here. I might have to get a new Nintendo to be able to even know how to play the game. But I'm still challenging you anyway, damn it.
It's all the same, even on the 3D to the Switch. They don't really change it up that much.
Well, I mean, I figure I can lose in either one equally well.
Now, who's your favorite character in it?
Oh, I'm a Wario guy.
Really? I'm a Yoshi guy.
Yeah. See, the problem with Yoshi is that he just kind of bounces off everybody and they crush him when you do wars. If you run at the person and hit them,
yeah,
you need somebody a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's why I hate when people use the King Koopa. They always run me over.
So guys, we got one other piece of news here, and that is Su Young's husband, Rich Swann, long-term deal with Impact Wrestling.
I think it's amazing. I mean, he's definitely a great talent. He unfortunately is injured right now, but I think he's a great talent. I am glad that Impact saw something in him, and they're using him. They're going to use him to the best that they can. So I'm looking forward to see what goes on. He did great at the pay-per-view. Not the pay-per-view, the last couple Impacts he was on or anything. But looking forward to it.
As far as Rich Swann goes, dude is going to be a future X Division champion. The theme song, I love the welcome to the party. I'm really looking forward to seeing Rich Swann in that. I mean, I've been a fan of Rich Swann. I liked him in the Cruiserweight division. I liked him on the independent scene. Him and Sami Callihan are very good friends. I'd like to see more incorporated with him and Sami Callihan. Just anybody in that X Division. I mean, Phoenix, Desmond Xavier, just the whole nine. I really am excited to see Rich Swann doing his thing in the X Division.
Well, I'm excited because he's a Baltimore guy, right, to start. And I'm excited because it means that I know they're never going to let him do it on Impact. But if we can do these Twitch specials and he just comes out singing all night long, that was gold for me, man. When he made his debut on that Twitch special singing his entry song all night long with Lionel Richie, that won me over right then and there. Everything that he did after that was just like icing on the cake. It was just like, dude, you sang your song on the way to the ring. It was Lionel Richie. It was all night long. You're not taking yourself too seriously. You're just having a good time. Dude, I was sold right then and there.
How much of an improvement is Swann over Grado over there with his singing coming to the ring? It's like night and day.
Grado sings?
Yeah, I don't know what song he sings now, but apparently he sings when he comes out. He used to sing his song. He used to be Madonna or something like that. But
like a prayer. I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry, Griggs. I don't mean to cut you off, buddy, but dude, I crack up every time I see that. It's funny because, like I've said, I've seen him do it, and I'll take a page out of Chef's book, ICW. I mean, so I get it. I dig it. So, but you know what it is about Grado too? The dude can work, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and Joe Hendry do their thing. Maybe we'll play that up to Bound for Glory because there might be a little bit of dissension with what happened this week. You know, they're doing the whole thing with Katarina, and they've implied it as far as social media standpoint that, oh, she has more photos with Joe on social media. So that I'm intrigued with.
Can't blame the guy though to have more photos with.
Yeah, I mean, Grado, all right. We'll settle like this big man. Well, we'll settle this in the ring. So, I mean, Eli Drake also adds a great element to it because it's Eli Drake. Another one signed long-term, same with Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, I know. People keep forgetting that Eli Drake did sign long-term as well. I got to tell you, I enjoy the Grado stuff. I enjoy Joe Hendry as well. And I get where Katarina would like Joe Hendry more than Eli, more than Grado, but he's not exactly a 10 either. You know what I'm saying?
But he's prestigious.
He's more prestigious than Grado anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? But he's not exactly Johnny Impact. And I'm sure if Raven Effect were here right now, he'd be like, wait a second, he's not Johnny Impact.
All right, you know what it is? Like, this dude, Joe Hendry, he was the local hero for a while time. Then he became the prestigious one, which I got to say, this dude's been doing this for a while. I've sent you guys the stuff. He sang, Blue Abadi Abadai Eiffel 65. I mean, he sang a lot of songs, and the dude's just as great at what he does. That's just him singing his own theme song. So, I mean, there's skills that kills there as far as that front goes. I personally think, like, whatever you do, heel, whatever, he's just very entertaining. And personally, I cracked up with the Eli Drake thing that he did, making fun of his YouTube thing. That still gets me every time I see it.
That was awesome. And Eli Drake is perfect character for that stuff, but they got to start moving him up the line a little bit here. I know that his status was unknown for a while there, but I think that now that he's signed long term and they know what his deal is going to be, they can start working him back into the main event. Hopefully the next set of tapings, Eli will have something a little bit better to do than working with Trevor Lee or Caleb Konley, whichever one actually winds up getting in the ring next week, right? That he'll be able to work with somebody that's a little bit higher up the line. I'd love to see him work with Pentagon Jr. I think that would be a fantastic feud for the two of those guys. Let them go at it for a while. The winner gets to take on Austin Aries or Moose, whoever the new world champ is at the time, and make the top of the division just a little bit more exciting than it has been for the last couple months.
Now, as far as the knockouts goes, I wanted to mention this. Scarlett Bordeaux doing her thing, very beautiful woman. She was in Women of Honor all around the world, doing her thing in Japan, whatever. Girl's an amazing talent. Are you guys looking forward to see her when she finally gets in the ring? I mean, she's licking the mic. I mean, she's the smoke show. Are you guys looking forward to seeing when Scarlett Bordeaux finally gets in the squared circle?
Griggs, you go first.
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely they're giving us some of the Attitude Era, I think, back again in Impact with Scarlett. I mean, I'm good with it. The second time around was it gets boring after a while. I like to see what she does in the ring. I don't know how long these skits are gonna go on before we start seeing her in the ring. Hopefully it's sooner than later. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what she can do.
They need to do something with her. Bottom line, do something with her. Just having her come out and give these interviews. I mean, I got to tell you something. By the time that she gets down there to talk, I am already bored with her and her goofy dance, because the goofy dance is just not working for me. Okay?
Yeah, the first time with the whole like I'm a 5, here's a 10 or whatever, that was cool. Then the next time they did it again, and
it's just do something with it already. Now, that having been said, she's a very intriguing character, and I can't wait to see more of her. I mean, I'd really like to see a lot more of her, but you know how that works. I can't wait to see more of her. The problem is that she's a heel. Who is she gonna feud with? Alicia Edwards? Maybe? I mean, like, seriously, who does she feud with?
Dude, I don't even know, because she again, like we mentioned, she's a heel too. And I mean, I like Scarlett Bordeaux, but who do you put her in? Allie? Well, Allie's stuck with. I know they're probably gonna go back to Allie and Su Yung. You put her with Kiera. You put her with Rebel. I mean, who do you put her with? Alicia is that's a good choice that you mentioned there, Impact dude. I mean, and Griggs, I'll be honest, as far as Alicia goes, like we've only seen her a couple times in the ring rise, right? Like I still remember on the Independency, New England Championship Wrestling, Sheldon Goldberg, that promotion. I remember watching her as Alexis Neve on the independent team. The girl's got skills, but the thing is, we hardly ever see her doing her thing in Impact Wrestling.
No, definitely. I mean, I thought she did pretty decent when it was Eddie and her versus
exactly, yeah.
The Wolf guy, yeah.
Against Davey and Angelina, you're right.
Yeah,
Chris.
definitely.
But even then, she wasn't heavily featured at all. I mean, she was there as as his wife.
Yeah, and we're just supposed to forget that she wrestled X amount of years on the Indies. Oh, it's Eddie Edwards' wife, Alicia.
See, I could sort of see her turn heel too with Eddie. Going down the line, eventually she'll go crazy and they'll both be crazy together. And so I don't know. I can see that happening too.
And I'm not going to lie. How cool would it be next week to see Tessa Blanchard beat the crap out of Alicia and then be standing over her, and when she turns around, get whacked by a kendo stick by Eddie Edwards? I know that'll never happen, but how killer would that be if Eddie Edwards comes up and saves his wife with a kendo stick to Tessa frickin' Blanchard? It would just be like, it would give Alicia great heel heat. Tessa would still get to be a heel, and you'd have some really good heel-on-heel work going on there. That would be great. That would be great. So I'm hoping for that. Now I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one, but that would just be phenomenal. Again, though, you guys are saying she could turn heel. I get it. You could make her a heel. They need faces. They need to do something, and none of the faces. I mean, I love Kiera Hogan. She's such a sweetheart. Okay, but she's just not a top face. She's not a top talent right now. Rebel's another sweetheart. How do you not love Rebel? Same thing. Katarina, aka Winner. These are just, and we don't even know. I mean, she could wind up being a heel too here. I mean, it really sounds like she's going to go by way of heel with Joe Hendry, and Grado's going to be the face, right? But I mean, they need faces, and they need decent faces. So this is my issue with Scarlett Bordeaux: is what are they going to have her do? And please, whatever you do, please do not put her in charge in Knockouts division. Oh my God, we do not need an authority figure. Oh my God, I just. It's so hard to even say it.
Yeah, you had flashbacks to Madison Rayne when she was the Queen of Knockouts. Same one when Karen Jarrett was the Queen of Knockouts. You had flashbacks there, Impact.
It was. We do not need another one of those. Okay, so please don't do that to me. But does she get a stable? Maybe. She's not really a manager type. So what happens? And this is kind of what I'd like to see them do. And this is why, I think it was you, Griggs, when you said about maybe putting Taya with Johnny. Let's start to see some of these heel women maybe play the role of valet a little bit to get them on air, but not have to figure out who the heck they're going to feud with because they're doing other things instead.
And to add on what Griggs' point is what he said before, I mean, Johnny and Ty, a real-life couple, and what they do with the Worldwide Underground, on Lucha Underground, when they were heels, right now they're doing, like, the face thing because they're going against the Reptile Tribe with Vibora, Cobra Moon, Daga, the whole nine. So that'd be a great incorporation there because what they do with the Worldwide Underground is great. So, yeah, and incorporate because, again, they're real-life married. So I like Griggs' point.
So while we're on the subject of the knockouts, right, we're talking about the show here anyway. The first match was Allie and Kiera against Su Yung and her undead maid of honor. Again, Casey Spinell, you're not fooling anybody here. It's on your Wikipedia page, for God's sakes. What do we think of this match, just in general? Was this a decent knockouts match? Did it tell a good story? What'd you think, Griggs?
I mean, I've seen better. I mean, it was what it was. I didn't care for it to be an opening match. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Ooh, yes, and I love Casey Spinelli, sweetheart. But man, you're not fooling anybody. We know it's you, Casey. All right. So, and besides, Canada, we've seen her work with BCW, and they incorporate her a lot in there. As far as I thought she played a role fine. I mean, it was what needed to be. She got her shot in, and she's the undead bridesmaid, maid of honor, whatever it is. And Su Yung was fine. I mean, it was what it needed to be, man. Because Allie and Kiera, they were very apparent in saying we're gonna go after Su. And what a way to go after Su. Allie pins her in the tag match. She pinned her at Redemption, then Su Yung, puts her in the coffin, then she gets her in the tag match. And obviously, we're setting up for Su Yung and Allie in the rubber match, the blow-off, so to speak, going towards Bound for Glory. So, I mean, it was fine for what it was, and it just sets up and progresses more angles to come.
Larkin, you said that you love Casey Smalley. I got to tell you, this is the same gal that once said, I'd burn a bra if I didn't need it. My message to you, Casey Smalley, is I will help you. And I don't think you actually need it. I think you can live without it, and I will help you burn it. I'm just saying, how can you not love somebody? How can you not love somebody with that attitude? I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she's also been very apparent in saying that she's very penis envy, as she put it one time. So I thought that was very funny, too. Burn a bra and penis envy. I mean, you got to love her.
I mean, how can you not? How can you not love this gal? How can you not love this gal? Plus she appears to be a hard-working gal, too. I mean, when you look at her, I mean, she's the kind of person that looks like a workhorse. You can tell she's putting the time in the ring, out of the ring, and doing her thing. And she's just the kind of person that you really want to root for. But, when you read that quote and you hear about some of the other things about her, she's somebody that you want Impact to find a way to use. And I think that she could be one of those people. I think she could fill two roles. First of all, the undead maid of honor just sounds like somebody that's going to turn on Su Yung at some point and go face, right? And with her relationship with both Allie and Rosemary, that could be a fearsome threesome of faces in that division when Rosemary gets back. The other thing is that if you look at her, I mean, she and Tessa Blanchard, there's just a lot of facial characteristics, the way they kind of carry themselves. She could make for a great ally for Tessa Blanchard as well.
I would definitely agree on that. I mean, this is a girl hardworking, like you mentioned, Impact, dude. This is a girl who's trained by Lance Storm. So, I mean, you got the Storm Wrestling Academy right there. So, I mean, how can you not, learning from one of the greats as far as technical-wise go and in-ring as Lance Storm? So, I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you on that. That would be an interesting dynamic. What do you think, Griggs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, it gives. I think that they could really have her do two roles if they needed to. You said you're light on as a faces. I mean, KC could play a face and then be a heel during the Undead Bride even.
Oh, you're right. This is very true. She could almost play two roles at the same time. That would be odd. So moving on, right? We also had the OGZs. Okay, and I know the O and the G stand for Old Guard. I do not know what the Z is. Okay.
See, I thought it was originals. I didn't know it was Old Guards.
I thought it was.
No, I think it's OGs, like the originals, like the original LAX OGs.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought too.
Oh. Okay, originals.
I think Chef said it was old Guards or something, but I never heard them actually call it that way.
Makes sense, though, too, Old Guard, because, again, they're the originals, the original LAX when they first came in, Homicide and Hernandez, so either way it works.
It does. The Z is kind of a little bit out there, either way, right?
It's a street thing, dude. Instead of pronouncing S's on it, you put the Z's.
Yeah, put a Z on there. Now, they defeated, and I'm not going to lie, I like miss this on the show. I had to look this up later. Johnny and Jimmy Boots and Tights.
You might as well call them Ham and Egger. Like, god dang, man. I mean, friggin', they got killed. We got to see, speaking of kill, we got to see the cop killer / gringo killer, the vertebraker, if you will, if you want to talk about Sugar Shane Helms, WCW. So it was great to see that come back into fruition, just see them dominate those two young men.
Yeah, definitely. It was a quick squash match, and what better way to show some strength and power from the OGs.
It's one of those things. I think every now and again you got to have yourself a squash match. I miss it from the 80s and early 90s when they used to do it. WWF, NWA, all those shows that used to come out and they have a whole bunch of squash matches. And if you wanted to see good matches, you had to actually go to the arena and pay for them. That was before television time was so valuable, right?
I miss Norm Vermin and Dewey Barnes.
Oh. I have not heard from Dewey Barnes in a long time, but Norm Furnham, he was wrestling on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, at least not too long ago. I don't know if he's still there or not. And he was always a lot of fun to watch even there. Again, this is just one of those things where the OGZs, they come out, they have painted the tag belts, which I think is cool. I mean, but I'm an old NWO guy. So I think that's cool. Rip off or not, I'm good with that. And, and they defeat Johnny and Jimmy Boots and Tights in less than a minute. Let's put it that way. So not too much on that one. And then we go, and guys, I got to tell you, this was not, top to bottom, the greatest Impact we've ever seen. But I think you need this every now and again just to get things, going in stories. They're pushing the Desi Hit Squad. And I get it. They got a contract in India, and they're beating KM and Fallah Bahh. And they're beating KM and Fallah Bahh like, I don't know. Everybody's beating KM and Fallah Bahh. And for some bizarre reason, I picked up Fallah Bahh in our fantasy league. I don't know what the hell I was thinking right now. I want to tell Hurls, just get him off my team. Like, I'll do without him. I'll go back to when I had people that weren't in the freaking promotion on my team, because Fallah Bahh just keeps eating pins on me here.
Okay. I got to address this. Do you mind if I address this really quickly?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Speaking of the fantasy league, did Hurls add like a gentleman by the name of Hunter Law in that list? You remember seeing that?
Yes, he did.
Where the hell did Hunter? Okay. So Hunter Law, he's, I think, done BCW. I think he's been on MLW. But I'm like, Hurls, why is this guy, on our fantasy league? He's not even with Impact. He's not even been on Impact. Oh, it could happen. I'm like, what the?
He must know something.
He must know something.
I think what happens is he likes to screw with Chef, right? And so I think sometimes he puts people out there just to see if Chef will take them. Because Chef doesn't always know what's going on inside of Impact Wrestling. And then Chef was getting upset because some of his ICW people weren't in the list. It's like, Chef, you can take anybody you want, okay?
Well,
you can take freaking Vince McMahon. Hurls is going to let you put him on the team. He's not going to win any matches for you, but you can put him on your team.
Hey, I got Joe Hendry, so I'm happy in the draft, so I'm good.
I mean, he does make things better.
He does. Thursdays on Impact Wrestling.
Now, look. While we cut off the side here, you got a little story about Hurls here and a show you're doing.
Oh yes.
Promotion here.
A little promotion. So as you guys know, I do a pop culture show on the S&M Show Podcast Network. MC Larkin 92 is the SoundCloud. Impact Dude has been on. We've done an 80s show together. Chef has been on. We've done a 90s hip-hop show together. So this month I'm going to have Hurls come on, and we're going to talk about it's like the 16-year anniversary now of Breaking Benjamin's debut album, Saturate, which features the hit single Polyamorous on it. So that's going to be fun. Hurls and I talk a little Breaking Benjamin at the end of the month.
Wait a minute. Hurls is going to be talking about being polyamorous?
That's all you heard from that? Yes.
That's all I got out of that. That's it. Hurls is polyamorous.
So we're going to be talking Breaking Benjamin at the end of the month.
Breaking Ben is actually from my neck of the woods.
Yes. You're right. Yeah, you're right, Griggs. Yeah, so we're going to be talking Breaking Benjamin. It's going to be like a all like series kind of deal. So when Breaking Benjamin comes up, you'll probably see Hurls on the show talking Breaking Benjamin with me.
That's awesome. So at any rate, we were talking about something a whole lot more boring and a whole lot less interesting. We were talking about the Desi Hit Squad versus KM and Fallah Bahh. Does anybody have anything to say about this other than, if you're, come on, give us a better talent. Make Desi Hit Squad interesting in some way, shape, or form. If you're gonna put them on the show, this is just not working.
I almost would rather watch a GWN flashback for the 15 more minutes.
Well, we did see Jushin Thunder Liger versus Petey Williams from Sacrifice this week, and I was very happy to see that because I did enjoy that match.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time and place for those. I mean, everyone's complaining, the shorter the better, and I agree. But yeah, Desi Hit Squad, I feel like they're shoving them down our throat. I don't think they would have any credibility against, say, someone like LAX. I just don't know where they're going to go from them. I know they're doing it because of the the TV deal and everything they have in India, but come on. Does anyone actually see them winning the belts?
Go you first, Greg. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, other than if they go to India again and then they give them the belts there, but...
I will gladly comment on this. I don't give a rat's ass about the Squad.
No one.
Okay, here's my point, and I'll try to be short with this. You can add Gama, Singh along with them, and I still don't give a damn. I mean, Gama Singh, he was in Stampede Wrestling. I mean, he's worked Johnny Rods. The dude's a legend. He's the uncle of current WWE superstar Jinder Mahal. But you know what it is, dude? I see Rohit Raju, the former Hakeem Zayn. Dude hasn't won a damn match since before the Desi Hit Squad. Then all of a sudden, him and Gursinder Singh are, the Desi Hit Squad, and they're beating KM and Fallah Bahh. They're beating DJZ and Andrew Everett. But I'm like, I still don't give a damn. I'm sorry. And like Griggs said, I can't take them serious against LAX, and I can distinctly see them doing it if I'm foreshadowing, because as far as tag teams, I mean, we've seen LAX go against the Cult of Lee. We've seen OVE. We've seen what they're doing with the OGs. And I mean, there's a scenario I could see maybe Desi Hit Squad taking LAX the tag titles from them, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. I have no interest in that. So as far as the Desi Hit Squad goes, I don't give a damn. But other than that, I thought the match was fine, and KM and Fallah Bahh doing their thing. So I was just kind of like meh about the whole thing.
I look at it this way, Larkin. The Desi Hit Squad, they're supposed to be Hit Squad, right? You got Killer Cross coming in, and they're doing great things with Killer Cross. I love the direction that they're taking with this guy so far anyway, right? But Desi Hit Squad, why not, play off of their name and have them actually take out other tag teams backstage? Have them take out tag teams after their match. Build them into something that actually looks, a team that actually looks to be some form of threat to somebody, instead of just having, and man, I'm telling you, I got Karma Chameleon stuck in my head freaking right now. Okay,
you're welcome.
I mean, it's he comes and goes. I wish they would just go, to be honest with you. But no, seriously, instead of just having Gama Singh come out and tell their backstory for the 500th time, your name is the Desi Hit Squad. You are a hit squad. You are heels. Period. End of story. You hit people from behind. This is not difficult. Impact Wrestling is more than capable, guys, and I mean more than capable of actually, handling this.
Oh, yeah, but, dude, I'm sorry, they suck. That's all I can say is they suck. Go ahead, Greg.
Why does Gama always slap them in the face after everything he does?
Gama? I think it's just the whole thing about the whole, respect. And, Don Callis always sells it up on commentary. Oh, this is just the rough teachings of Gama Singh. He's a legend in Canada. And, oh, my God, Gama Singh. Gama. So, I mean, I don't care. I'm sorry. I still don't give a damn. But, yeah, I think it's just supposed to be, hard upbringings, hard teachings. The dude's a veteran. I get it. But still, I don't give a damn.
It's ridiculous. They're really just making these guys out to be jobbers, and they're pushing Gama Singh a little bit. Instead, have Gama Singh have him beating people up in the back, and that's their thing. Do something with them, something unique, something to make us think that they're a threat. Otherwise, yeah, they're eventually going to tour India. These guys are going to get the tag straps, and we're all going to go because they're in India. So make them actual threats. Then you can put them on the show every freaking week, and then you can actually engage your Indian audience. But they have to be deemed as a threat. And these guys are not a threat. It's like, I don't really care who they're beating right now. I'm not buying it.
I'm not. And we mentioned LAX before. I will say this. If anybody hasn't listened to it, it's actually a good listen. Check out the latest teleconference at LAX. Santana and Ortiz are on there answering questions. They really came off genuine. And they're just, like I said, I am really happy for those guys.
Now, in another match, right, we already had the OGZs winning in about a minute. Okay, that last match was a little over 6 minutes. Dustin Cameron actually lasted 3 minutes and 20 seconds with Austin Aries before Santino Morelli threw the towel in, right? Mm-hmm. Is this not just a waste of a world title match?
Oh, it is.
Did you guys see, though, before the match even happened, they announced that Eddie Edwards was going to fight for the title against Austin Aries next week. So they didn't think this guy was even going to win, and they're promoting it like that.
I mean, you didn't think he was going to... I mean, nobody really thought Dustin Cameron was walking out with that belt now, did they?
No. I mean...
No, but come on, they could have played it off that he had a chance. Everyone has a chance,
Griggs, who are you, James Ellsworth over there? Every man with 2 hands has a fighting chance? No. But seriously, you know what it is with the Dustin Cameron? They showcase, because it's in Mississauga, Ontario, Battle Arts Academy, Santino Marella, Anthony Carelli, his school. So it's a thing where, Battle Arts, they cover MMA and wrestling. Santino Morella's Anthony Carelli has a thing in that. He was Boris Alexev in OVW for a short period of time. So you incorporate a lot of that. And Santino, Anthony Carelli, cannot work. He has his neck issues. So they had him kick Austin Aries in the ding-ding after the match, after he threw in the towel for young Dustin or not getting that second brain buster. And then you had Eddie come out, hit him with the kendo stick. And I'm much more interested in that, too, because I've seen Austin Aries and Eddie Edwards do their thing on the indies. First time I ever saw them was November 06 in Ring of Honor doing their thing. So they've wrestled each other thousands of times. And next week is just going to be another great match between those two. So I'm more interested in Austin Aries and Eddie Edwards doing their thing. Austin Aries eating the banana, throwing it away, doing his cocky shenanigans. I know Raven Effect was probably blushing over the whole damn thing. So Austin Aries and Eddie Edwards
was pulling Hurls and fapping off is what he was doing.
So next week, Austin Aries, Eddie Edwards. I'm looking forward to it.
When I look at this match is I don't get it. I don't understand why Anthony Carelli is on my TV screen. Yeah, okay, great. You got a TV school or a wrestling school. Who cares, right? Everybody's got a wrestling school these days.
And it's the Canada tie-in too, Impact dude, because he is from Canada.
I hear you, but it's not working. He's just not working. And all he does is go around and say, I'd love to wrestle you, but I got a bad back, so I can't wrestle you. But I can sure as hell kick you in the balls and make you want to wrestle me, but then I can't wrestle you.
That's the thing. Like, if he was able to wrestle, we could get a Austin Aries Anthony Carelli match out of this, but you can't because he's got neck issues. That's what they've implied. He can't wrestle, so I'm going to have my student fight you. So.
Yeah, but honestly, is that actually going to draw any seats? Like anyone?
Well, I guess, you know what it is, too? The dude can wrestle. I mean, he's known as being a comedy character for his career, the sock puppet, the Cobra. Yeah. But I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's what Anthony Carelli is. He's the funny guy. So you don't really see him as anything other than the funny guy.
Yeah, and I don't want to see him in a world title match against Austin Aries.
Well, yeah, so, all right, whatever.
I mean, if he wants to have a Twitch show, that's fine. Anybody can have a Twitch show. They're like free.
Yeah, him and Alicia behind the lights, man.
Yeah, he's actually off that show now, isn't he?
Well, the other guy is. I think it's just Alicia and Anthony Carelli on that.
Oh, yeah, okay. They can kick him off too and just have Alicia do her thing. She's a 10 anyways.
You know what? I love me some Alicia. And some Alicia. I mean, Alicia, hey.
Hey.
Double A, baby, double A.
I'll tell you who I do want to get off my TV screen, though, and I swear to God, if this guy is never on my TV screen again, it will be a good day. Okay.
Go ahead.
And I'm telling you, I don't care if Scarlett Bordeaux is in this thing again. If I have to look at Bob Kapoor one more time, dude. Look, there's a first time and a last time for everything. As far as Bob Kapoor on my TV screen, this was both, all wrapped into one. That was the most pathetic interview I have ever seen in my life. I mean, you want to talk about a horrible interview, and I know that he was doing that intentionally. It was just horrible. Just stop. Just Impact Wrestling. If you have another Bob Kapoor interview slated for this week, quick stop. Put a commercial in, okay? Put freaking anybody. Put fucking John Cena on, okay? I don't care. Just stop. Don't do that. Cut the show off. You know what? Cut the show off 10 minutes early and just put a blank screen or a blank screen in the middle. I don't care, but please, God, no more Bob Kapoor.
Hey, just put some more of that 70s show flashbacks on.
That would be perfect, Griggs. That would work, too.
Man, that was cringeworthy as fuck. I mean, here's the thing. Bob Kapoor, I get it, like you, Impact, dude. He's supposed to be enamored and, stuttering over his words because Scarlett Bordeaux is a beautiful woman. But I'm just like, yeah, it was just like, no. Bob Kapoor, no thank you. I don't want more of the Kapoorski. Just get him out of here. Get him out.
Yeah, Impact was getting some backlash about the stuttering on social media. So I don't know if it did any good for them. I mean, we all know it's just, part of the show. He really doesn't have a stuttering problem and whatnot. But, yeah, they were getting some backlash. And I don't know if Impact's at that, the point in their, I don't know, in their point to keep pushing off, to get bad feedback from anyone.
I mean, I remember Don Callis, I think, this week on Killing the Town was talking about the backlash that they got over the Scarlett Bordeaux thing with the whole, her sexual nature and the licking of the mic and all that. And I'm like, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's unique as far as her character-wise goes.
It is. I mean, and people like a little bit more attitude in their wrestling. So why not have Impact go that route?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, the social justice warriors are going to go after something for some reason. At some point, you just stop paying attention to them. And as far as I'm concerned, if they're worried about somebody stuttering on Impact Wrestling, they take out other. I mean, there are so many things wrong in this world, folks.
Hey, at least people are watching, right?
I mean, there are so many things wrong in this world. If you're worried about stuttering on a wrestling show, y'all need to seriously rethink your priorities, because there are plenty of things y'all could think about, like, for instance, world hunger and I mean, it's just okay. Give me a break. But that was a terrible interview, and Scarlett Bordeaux, and we talked about this earlier in the show, guys. It's getting repetitive, so it's time to move her on to something that's more than just what she's doing right now. Mm-hmm. We know who the Smoke Show is. Mm-hmm. Now you go from one bad segment to a segment which I'm sure a lot of people didn't enjoy. I liked it. I know you guys did too. But Eli Drake and Trevor Lee versus Grado and Joe Hendry, right? I thought this was a fun match. I loved Caleb Konley and Trevor Lee, trying to figure out which one was going to get the beat with Eli Drake and who was going to get the wrestle. Like, there was ever a question it wasn't going to be Trevor Lee, right? We knew it was going to be Trevor the whole time. And it was just a fun match. It's just a fun angle. I think they need to move Eli on to bigger and better things, but I'm enjoying this.
100%. I mean, like, it was what it needed to do. It progressed the whole, Joe Hendry Grado thing. It was fine for what it was. It was fun, all around fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of the Grado thing already. There's only so much. I don't know. I know everyone hates on him and this and that, and like, I supported his pay-per-view matches when he had them back in the day. With Eli, come on, it's just it's unbelievable that's where they would put him in with. But like you said before, they didn't know where he was going, so I see why. But it is what it is. I'm hoping that the story, we get something out of it. Like we're saying that there's some tension between Katarina, and Grado and Joe Hendry. So hopefully it leads to something good.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what? I'm kind of losing like what order it like came next. The Johnny Impact thing where he gets interviewed by Alicia, and then Alicia's interviewing, and then he knocks down Jimmy Jacobs. I mean, I thought was cool.
That was a good backstage segment.
I mean, it's going to progress. I mean, Johnny made it very clear. Johnny wants the monster, and he knocked down Jimmy Jacobs because he's trying to be a good guy. And, I'm not a bad guy, but I'm a good guy. Zombie princess. I get what I want.
I think that Jimmy Jacobs is just a guy that's fun to watch get beat up. I think he's always been fun to watch him get beat up. I mean, he does it well.
Dude, I could tell you just about Jimmy Jacobs. The first time I saw him was actually when he fought Eddie Guerrero on SmackDown, his Ring of Honor career. The dude has had a long, 20 years in the biz, and he has that mind, and he works. I mean, him and friggin', oh my God, with Tyler Black, when they were Do It For Her, the DIFH group. I mean, my God, the dude can wrestle, he can talk, and he's an asset for Congo Kong, and they're homies, so it makes sense. Put them together. Go ahead, Griggs.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought that it finally gave something for him to do backstage that, we always see Congo Kong come out and, with Jimmy Jacobs, and now we're going to see, I guess, the beast unleashed to get his, payback. So, should be good.
So guys, then we go to the main event, and this was a show they actually gave time to. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix defeating OVE. I loved it. I thought this match saved the show.
Yeah, I thought it was better than expected. I mean, with OVE, I mean, you have Pentagon Jr., you have Phoenix, so you can't go wrong there.
Ooh. Man, what they did in this match was great. The dives, just the overall chemistry that those four have with each other. Penn and Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers, OVE, Dave and Jake Christ, and you incorporate Sami Callihan in the mix. And at the end, when they lost, I thought it was funny. He's just yelling out, "I hate you" to Pentagon and Phoenix. Overall, I think that was the best match on the show. It was a great match from top to bottom, and I look forward to seeing where else it goes with them. I mean, Penta's an asset, Phoenix is an asset, OVE are doing their thing. I've been enjoying the whole sequence and the whole feud and dynamic with each and every one of them. I loved it.
I think, Larkin, you summed this up fantastically. This was just a great match. Those guys, they flew. OVE, underrated as wrestlers, okay? I mean, the gimmick and the shtick really saved by Sami Callihan. Let's not kid ourselves. But as wrestlers in the tag team, these guys are still very talented. The Lucha Brothers they're just off the charts talented. I mean, you just can't. Every time you watch one of those two in a ring, it's like, there's your match tonight. I mean, this is just the way it is. They're just that good in the ring. They tell a great story in the ring. And I thought there was some great storytelling in this match as well. The only issue that I have is I don't want to see the Lucha Brothers in the tag division. I don't mind this because this is them versus OVE, and you got Pentagon Jr. and you got Sami Callihan. It just feels like they're just pulling Pentagon Jr. out of the main event mix for a bit, right? But I would not want to see them as a full-time tag team just because of how talented each of those guys are. That having been said, if they did put them as a full-time tag team, could you not just kick back and enjoy the Lucha Brothers versus LAX? Wait for it, okay? Versus the boys themselves, Matt and Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Three-way dance.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to see that. I think everyone would bounce off each other very well. Oh, yeah, I'd love to see that.
That would be a three-way tag match just made in freaking heaven.
Definitely, that's definitely money right there.
And you know damn well the Bucks would look at that and go, "Oh, we won in."
They're all in?
They are all in. But could you imagine that? Could you imagine that tag match at All In?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting, man. I like that. I would definitely like that dichotomy, and I think I'm with you on that, Impact, dude. Like, I like Pentagon and Phoenix, but I'm like, man, I don't want to see Penta in the tag division. I mean, he's former world's heavyweight champion. I mean, he's only held it for a cup of coffee because Austin Aries won it right back. So I like to see him more in the heavyweight division. But for what they got now, like you said, incorporating OVE and Sami in there, I think it's fine. Just don't keep them in the tag division.
Yeah, and Penta was, I mean, he's an exciting guy, and he's a guy that the crowd can get behind, and he can get over with the crowd. And so I don't want to see him in the tag division. But they could do with him what they've done with Jeff Hardy over the years, which is kind of pull him in and kind of pull him out at times. And, if they're going to go down this route and they're going to have them in a tag division over the next few months, man, do something crazy at Bound for Glory. Do something absolutely crazy. Bring in the Bucks, bring in, LAX, bring in, the Lucha Brothers, and just tear the roof off the house.
Agreed. It makes for exciting wrestling. I'm down with it.
So, did you guys see the best part of the main event? What it was?
Which one? Which part of it?
The best part, I would have to say, I don't know if you guys agree, was Kid Ref reffing it. Our boy Kid Ref. I had to throw it out there just for count.
I saw that. I did notice that. The sad thing was, and I was messaging you guys when I got around to watch the main event. I was like, man, I was watching the main event, and I was like, I swear I've seen this already. Is this a repeat? And then I realized it was because our buddies over at the Bodega podcast actually had a guy in the front row that taped part of it, and they ran spoilers on Facebook earlier in the week. I'm like,
yes.
Man, this looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? I'm like, right back to Chris as the ref. I'm like, this is just like... and it took me a minute to realize it was because they had spoiled it earlier in the week, and because I'm watching them come to the ring, and I'm watching Pentagon Jr. Basically throw Phoenix into the ring, and I was like, they do that every match, right? The next thing you know, there's the double tie. It's like, we did this before too. That cracked me up. Crack me up. Well, guys, look, we're pretty much at the end of the show. Do we got anything else we want to discuss this week?
Ooh, you first, Griggs.
No, I was just going to say that I think next week they already announced Pentagon Jr. is going against Matt Sydal. I think that's going to be a great match for next week.
Okay. Besides Matt and Pentagon, did they officially announce that, Griggs?
Oh, yeah, it was on their Twitter.
Okay, cool. All right, so besides Matt and Penta, we got Alicia making her return against Tessa, and we got Austin Aries and Eddie Edwards in the main event for the title. So it's going to be interesting. So like I said, Impact next week should be very, very good and have some solid action. And Alicia's probably going to get killed, so there you go.
I mean, I feel like there could be a kendo stick coming, but unfortunately, Eddie does have a match with Austin.
You're really sold on just Eddie Edwards. I mean, yeah, you're just taking a kendo stick and just hitting Tessa Blanchard with that.
I mean, I know we're not supposed to be about male and female violence, but this is professional wrestling, and they do it in Lucha Underground all the time. But I just feel like Tessa Blanchard needs to be hit with a kendo stick. It just feels
and she would
like
sell it so much, so good too.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's like Tommy Dreamer pile driving the girls and Rhino doing the Rhino driver through the tables in the original ECW to the women. So, yeah, I get it.
I mean, I feel like if Bully Ray can...
Exactly. If Dixie Carter can go through a table, she can take a kendo stick.
If he can dump Dixie Carter off the top rope through a table, I feel like a kendo stick and Tessa Blanchard's, just all right.
Oh, wait, that's also what we didn't talk about. What do you think about Eddie trying to reconcile with Alicia in the back?
I was just hoping that it was going to lead to Tessa Blanchard getting hit with the kendo stick.
Man,
I am stuck on this. I'm telling you right now, if Eddie Edwards comes out from behind her and just starts smiling, I'm going to be jumping off it's going to be like when Eric Young won the championship the first time and he wins the world championship, and I am like screaming in the family room, and the wife is going, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And that's what it's going to be like. Eddie Edwards, Tessa Blanchard, kendo stick, man. I'm telling you. I did think to answer your question, Larkin. I think it's just continuing to tell the Alicia story. If Alicia's going to be on the show, and Eddie's going to be on the show, then they have to do something between the two of them because they are actually married. So they kind of do, and they've let everybody know that they're married. It's not like it's Taya and Johnny who are kayfabe, don't know each other. Mm-hmm. These two, I mean, her name is Alicia Edwards. Mm-hmm. So they have to do something with it. So I'm glad that they're at least trying to maintain some consistency there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Awesome. So Griggs, you got anything to add, buddy, before we wrap up?
No, I'm good.
All right, so let's do this. We didn't do it in the beginning because I was joking about forgetting to do the intro. But Larkin, let's plug the S&M podcast. Let's plug your Facebook pages, your websites, the whole 9 yards, my friend.
Okay, so TalkinWrestling.com is on Facebook, just Facebook.com/TalkinWrestlingUS, TalkinWrestling.com, give it a like. S&M Show Podcast or S&M Network shows on Facebook, give it a like. The Twitter @SM Show 1 and the SoundCloud's MC Larkin 92. All the info will be there. Interviews, man, I mentioned that AML wrestling show before. Kristen Statlander, who wrestled Tessa and Allie on that show, I interviewed her. We talked about that upcoming matchup that just happened. She's a Creative Pro student at Kurt Hawkins' school, and is the first female graduate of that school. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, also came from that school. I just interviewed Amber Nova, who we've seen on Impact Wrestling from the Garage and who just recently will be on NXT. I interviewed former Ring of Honor and Impact superstar Jimmy Rave. So we did talk some Rock and Rave infection, which actually we're going to have a reunion coming soon, you guys, on the Indies. They're doing a match together, Lance Hoyt and Jimmy Rave.
That is fantastic. And then, of course, let's not forget our buddy Robert from Robert Does Wrestling. Follow Robert and all of his videos. The Bodega Podcast. Robert's a part of the Bodega Podcast as well. Mm-hmm. Again, friends of the Heelcast, as well as Total Nonstop Impact with Kyle and Trent. And I should be on that podcast sometime in the near future. I know that Kyle and I were talking about putting me on this coming week at some point. We just haven't talked about a date yet, so I'll be doing a drop in there as well. So at any rate, folks, look, on behalf of the entire Heelcast, especially my good buddies Griggs, Larkin, don't forget to check out ImpactAsylum.net. Always check out ImpactAsylum.net, your number one source for all things Impact related and the number one fan site for Impact Wrestling. I'm Impact Dude saying, guys, take it easy, have a great week, and we'll catch you next time.